We all know what a normal funeral looks like, right? You put on some nice clothes, say a few kind words, put the person in a fancy wooden box, and bury them deep in the ground. Then, we just leave them there, all alone in the dark. But if you jumped in a time machine and went back 15,000 years to the Ice Age, our ancestors would look at our funerals and think we were totally crazy. To them, burying your grandpa in the cold dirt and walking away wasn't respectful at all. It was actually a huge insult. It was like throwing away something incredibly valuable. Instead of putting their loved ones in the ground, they did something that would get you locked up in jail today. They cut up their dead, they drank water out of their skulls, and they turned their bones into tools and weapons. Now hold on a second. Before you picture a bunch of wild cavemen acting like movie monsters, let me stop you. You're probably dead wrong. Over in England, in a place called Gough's Cave, scientists found something that completely blew their minds. They found human bones, but they weren't just tossed in the trash. They were carved up like beautiful pieces of art. Imagine someone taking a tiny tool and carving perfect little zigzag patterns into an arm bone. They even smoothed out the edges of human skulls so perfectly that they worked just like your favorite coffee mug. This wasn't the messy work of angry enemies. This was high art. These people belonged to what scientists call the Magdalenian culture. To understand them, you have to think about life a little differently. Think of your favorite video game character. When they level up, they get stronger, smarter, and braver. These ancient people believed that all that level-up energy, a person's wisdom, courage, and spirit, didn't just disappear when they died. They believed all that invisible energy got safely locked inside their bones. So if you buried those bones in the dirt, you were basically throwing away your grandpa's wisdom or your mom's bravery. Imagine being a young hunter in the freezing cold, creeping up on a massive, scary beast. In your hand is a spear, but the tip of that spear is made from your dad's leg bone. In your mind, your dad isn't gone. He's right there playing co-op with you. His strength flows through the bone and helps you strike. When a mom died, turning her skull into a cup meant she was still giving her kids water and taking care of them every single day. To them, the dead never really left. They were still part of the team. Honestly, to an Ice Age hunter, we are the rude ones for abandoning our family in the dirt. But there is a darker part to this story. A part that makes us modern folks super uncomfortable. To clean those bones before carving them, they didn't just scrape them with rocks. They actually ate the flesh of their family members. Now you might think, oh, they must have been starving because it was the Ice Age. Nope. Scientists found piles of leftover deer and horse bones right next to them. They had plenty of regular food. This wasn't about being hungry. Think of it like the ultimate way of saying goodbye. By eating a piece of the fallen, they believed they were keeping that person inside the tribe forever. Plus, it meant hungry wolves or bears couldn't dig up the body. They were protecting their family. So if this was so normal back then, why did we stop doing it? Why do we bury people today? The answer is farming. About 10,000 years ago, humans stopped running around chasing animals and decided to stay in one place to grow plants like wheat. We built houses and fences. For the first time ever, people started saying, "This dirt is mine." Think of it like calling dibs on a seat at the lunch table. Burying your ancestors in the ground was the ultimate way to call dibs on a piece of land. It was like putting down a permanent flag that said, "My family owns this field, and my grandpa is buried right here to prove it." As towns got bigger, we stopped hanging out with our dead ancestors. We handed the job over to gravediggers and hid the whole thing away. Today, we look at those carved bone tools in a glass museum case, and we call those ancient people savages. But maybe, just maybe, they would look at us and feel sad. Sad that we completely forgot how to keep the people we love close to us. Morality isn't some strict rulebook. It changes depending on what you need to survive. Next time you walk past a cemetery, ask yourself, wouldn't you rather be useful? Wouldn't you rather stay in the hands of the people you love? Because back in the freezing, brutal days of the Ice Age, nobody survived alone, not even the dead. History is full of wild, hidden secrets your teachers never told you about. If you want to hear the real story of our ancestors, smash that subscribe button. You definitely won't want to miss our next video, where we talk about how ancient people turned swamps into living zombie freezers. Thanks for watching. And remember, the past isn't just history. It's in our bones.